So, life and work is pretty hard at times. Like, I don't really know how to describe it, but I'm going to do my best, so bear with me. I'm 42 years old, and I've got at least 20 years of experience, work experience, at least. I started working when I was about 17, so more than that. But it all seems to be the same. Like, no matter what, if you're at a corporate job, that after college and you're on a salary schedule, or if you're working McDonald's and it's your first job, painting houses, you're learning a trade, whatever that may be. I feel like the politics game is all the same. Like, no matter what you're doing, it feels all the same. I mean, your bosses seem like they don't like you. Maybe they play favoritism. Maybe they're giving other people special treatment, and you just kind of it kind of feels like almost like there's no hope. Like, you don't have, almost like you don't want to be there anymore. You're like at work and you got a really rough day, like today for me. And maybe you can relate, but sometimes there are days where you just don't feel like continuing. You almost feel like taking your work phone, if you've got one, and your keys, and setting them on the desk and just saying, I'm done. Come get them. I mean, that's just how it feels sometimes. And sometimes at the end of the day, on those days, I feel like, okay, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't really that bad. But then tomorrow comes and it happens again. And it keeps stacking up to a point where you feel like, why am I in the rat race? Like, why do I work a 9 to 5? Technically, it's a 7 to 3:30 for me. Why am I in that? Why do I continue going down this path where it seems like I don't like working here? And I'm only 3 months in. So if you leave this job, you've got to go find another one and do it all over again. So what is my advice? Like, what do you do in that case? I've had several jobs. I've also worked for myself. I've been a content creator / influencer. And all of it is the same. I don't care what it is. There's this lie right now, this common misconception that you can go out and create your own schedule, be your own boss, and do all that stuff. And that might be true on a small scale. When you are a small business on a small scale, let's say you decide to be a content creator and that's your job. As of right now, I make about $1,000 a month on Amazon as an Amazon influencer. That's small. That's a small business. If I were to start a chimney sweep company tomorrow and drum up some business, and let's say I, make $2,000 to $3,000 a month, that's a small business. I've got a couple customers. I got a little bit of things to manage and very small amount of responsibility. But the more your responsibility grows and the more your customer base grows, the more stress that you have. And really all you're doing is creating a company that supplies you with a full-time job, minus the benefits and everything else that you have to pay out of pocket on your own. And then if you make it bigger and you scale more, you got to create an LLC or something like that, and you're essentially creating the business that employs you. Yeah, you're the CEO, but still, you have to create the work and drum it all up, create the estimates, find the work, find the customers, keep the client retention high. It's still a job. You still have work to do. So, 9 to 5, self-employed, entrepreneur, LLC, all of that stuff really doesn't change fundamentally when I'm talking about the fact that we might wake up tomorrow morning and do something that we aren't necessarily enjoying, right? Like, all of us are in that place, I think. If you're truly enjoying what you're doing, then I can say you're probably not working too hard. You might really enjoy what you're doing and you've found that sweet spot. I found this video, and this person, I'll link them down below. I forget their name right now. But this person's talking about FYL, or funding your lifestyle, versus just entering the rat race and finding a job. And he says that basically we all work to earn a living, but we have it misconstrued. We even have ourselves like lied to, and we're believing our own lies. As in, we think that, no, really, if I could just become the doctor, if I could just become the lawyer or the teacher or the things, if you think about those things that we have these high aspirations for, we really are chasing the money. Because if a doctor only made $35,000 a year, not as many people would pursue it. If a construction worker, if you could go into entry-level carpentry and you knew you're going to make 150 grand after 2 years, a lot more people would pursue the trades. So it's not necessarily the title that we're always pursuing, it's attached to money. So when that takes place, when you consider those things, we make a lot of our decisions based off of the money that we are wanting to make, and not necessarily the careers that we want to have. With that being said, we also attach the amount of stress that we're willing to take and accept in order to make that amount of money. Funding your lifestyle is really just like, what kind of lifestyle do you want to have, and how much money do you need to make to fund that lifestyle? How much money do you need in order to continue that lifestyle? And so that's what I've been considering. I know I'm 42, and what I would say is, like, honestly, I have a director level role at a school district, and that's pretty high up. I mean, I've got the benefits package, the whole 9 yards, and really, it's not worth a heart attack. That's the thing, is if I wake up tomorrow morning and go to work and have a really stressful day, and then I don't wake up the next day because I had a heart attack, because I'm so stressed out, or my health, let's not go so crazy, Billy. What if my health just rapidly starts declining because I don't eat right, I sit at my desk a lot, I have so much stress in my life that I start losing muscle mass, I don't really get up and move around a lot because I'm on my computer, and then I'm stressed out mentally, which bogs me down physically. What if all that takes place? My dad passed away in 2011 from a seizure, stroke, and aneurysm. He had those all at once, technically. He didn't pass away because of those, but he was bedridden, basically what people refer to as a vegetable, in their homes, sitting on a bed, staring at a wall. And I know before my dad got to that full state, he was in a wheelchair, and I remember him telling me specifically, because he could only talk out of one side of his body, that he had to hold his mouth like this so that his brain was tricked into talking, and only sometimes would that work. So he had no use of the left side of his body. I think it was left. So he'd have to hold his mouth. And he told me, Billy, I feel trapped because a lot of what I want to say up here, I can think it, but I can't speak it. And I feel stuck. And I can only imagine him now later not being able to talk or move, and still feeling stuck and trapped up here, but just laying in his bed staring at his wall, slowly dying. My dad was stressed out a lot. He was stressed quite a bit, and for him to die like that, it's like, it literally scares me. So for me, prayer works, right? That's my thing. And I don't know if you're a praying person or not, but I don't know if you meditate, exercise. Some people choose to party, and that's temporary, drinking and that stuff that just temporarily numbs it. I wouldn't go for a temporary solution. I would say that anything that you can do to take a break and refresh. Simon Sinek was telling a story about this lumberjack, these two lumberjacks, right? And these lumberjacks would, cut wood every day. They'd chop wood every day. They chopped the same amount of wood, but on their lunch break, one would go away and the other one would stay for lunch. One lumberjack was chopping way more wood than the other, and he couldn't figure it out. The other lumberjack couldn't figure it out, so he said, you come here, we chop wood at the same amount of time every day. You leave for an hour and come back and we finish at the same time every day. How are you chopping more wood than me? The other lumberjack says, that's easy. On the hour that I'm away, I'm sharpening my axe. And I think that's the key, right? Is like, we can be more productive if we're taking those breaks, sharpening our axes, utilizing tools that we're given appropriately, and it just makes the world of difference. Like, there's no reason that we should just keep working and hustling and all this stuff that this world promises us. If we just keep working so hard, we're gonna make it. We just got 25 years and then this retirement, we're gonna make it. The problem is, by the time we reach retirement, our bodies aren't capable of enjoying it because we've worked them, if not physically hard, then mentally, and we're so hard on ourselves and stress out that we just don't have the mental capacity later or physical capacity later to even do it. And I don't want to be that kind of person. I don't want to be stuck at a point where I can't do it, right? And I'm only 3 months into this position, and I promise you that if this position is going to put me in a place mentally and physically where my kids go unnoticed, where I'm neglecting time with my wife, where I just am not present in my family's day-to-day needs, I'll give it 2 years. But I will not let this take over for me, and I won't let this take my life over. And so I would encourage you the same way. I'm not saying quit your job, but I am definitely saying, like, stop chasing the money and start thinking of ways to fund your lifestyle. And if you don't know what that is, you might have to reconsider, what is your lifestyle? What are those things? But let me know in the comments what that looks like to you. Let me know in the comments if you're funding your lifestyle or if you're stuck in the rat race. And I'd like to get to know some of your stories and see what it is that you're doing. How are you getting out of that, and what's your plan? All right, I'll see you on the next video.